Dun 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 dun. That's not how that goes.
No, that's not how.
Welcome to Marvel Phase 1. My name is Migdalia.
And I'm Samuel Lott. How are you?
Hi Sam. Welcome to our new Marvel TV after show, where we will be specifically focusing on the Inhumans, touching base on a little bit of the Netflix television universe. And then when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Runaways begin, we'll touch base on that.
Indeed. So our focus today is going to be on the Inhumans because it just dropped Kerplunk.
Yes. 2 episodes premiered last night, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it Thursday?
I think it was last night.
Okay, last night. Yeah, so the Inhumans it first premiered in IMAX theater about a couple weeks ago, I believe. The first 2 episodes. So reactions have not been that positive.
And to say not positive, I think it was like at least 2 weeks ago they were already coming out with not renewing this nonsense. And I don't mean to call it nonsense in a way because there were some good aspects of it. But at first glance, it was not even a little bit good. And we were actually talking about it in hashtag areas where it's like, is it really going to be that bad? And a lot of people were saying, it's just a marketing ploy because everyone's going to watch it. And it's like, oh, everyone's expectations are raised now because it was, panned and now it's good. But
yeah.
No, that didn't happen.
We're gonna touch base on some of the areas of the pilot episode. 2-parter 1 and 2. I want to say thank you to everybody on the chat here sitting with us. Let us know your thoughts on the episode. We also want to touch base on our TeePublic website, which the link is in the chat and in the description. Hey to the Facebook hashtaggers group there. And like and share and subscribe and, share this with all your friends.
Indeed. Yeah. So, where to start?
I guess the characters, the initial reaction. What was your initial reaction?
So, if we're talking characters, are we talking the people playing the characters or the Marvel characters themselves?
Well, we'll get to that more in depth. But what was your initial reaction of it as a whole, like based on the storyline? What were some good parts to it? Some negative parts?
So the story itself, objectively, I like the idea of the story. Mm-hmm. Got a bunch of moon people coming down, claiming back what's rightfully theirs. Okay, I can bite to that.
Moon people.
I'm about that. The moon people coming down to take back their country. It's very MAGA. But the story I can definitely grab onto it, especially because the bad guy I can never remember his name.
Iwan?
Iwan something very weird name. Great actor.
Pronunciation, yeah. We're gonna call him Ramsey.
We're gonna call him
Ramsey Bolton.
Ramsey Bolton because that's what he played. And so, I think he played a really good bad guy. He stayed really committed, and, as far as typecasting, so he's been the bad guy lately in a lot of the things he does. So I really enjoyed the bad guy aspect to it. It's very Lion King-ish.
Yeah,
very Lion King-ish.
Okay.
Which is also very Hamlet-ish.
Yes.
A little more Hamlet-y, yeah.
Hamlet. That's all I got? That's it?
I want to hear what you think. We're going to go back and forth on this.
Yeah, we'll do it back and forth. The same. I feel so bad for Ramsey Bolton because he looked... I don't want to say he looks like the only one that's trying because, based on the TCA reactions and based on the actors, I feel like they do care and everyone was trying. But I think for some people, they're above this. Their caliber of acting is a little bit raised.
I think it's a different problem altogether. And this is a really interesting problem that we're running into. We got this Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. Everybody, and the thing is, ask any actor, they all want to be a Marvel something. Everybody wants to be a superhero because, you can't go wrong with being a superhero nowadays. The thing is, everyone's phoning in a different actor, I think. Like, if you look at, I think his name's Ikiwado, or I can't pronounce his name for the life of me, but he plays the Minotaur-looking dude. And yeah, the Minotaur-looking dude.
His name is Gorgon, I believe.
Gorgon, yeah. And the thing is, he's trying so hard to be Idris Elba that he's not really owning his own characteristics. And there's a lot of people doing that. There's a lot of people in this show doing that, I think.
There should be like little hearts thing, and then Idris's picture pops up with a cloud, because that's where our mind's at now. Anyway, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you mentioned that before, and I was like, no, I don't see it. Then he was like doing an impersonation of like his character on Luther. I was like, oh yeah, I noticed that.
So Blackwing says, so I guess there's no point of watching.
I wouldn't say that. Okay. The one problem I believe the Inhumans has is that it was supposed to be part of Marvel Phase 4.
4?
Yes. Or Marvel Phase... No, 4.
No,
because it was Marvel Phase 4 because it's supposed to be like 2020, 2021. They ripped that down, they put that to television, and they kind of went into production and post and casting and released this all in one shot. That seemed to happen from 0 to 60. But also, one more thing, they shot this for IMAX. And I think they shot it too much for the gimmick of releasing it on IMAX, and they were just too focused on how can we make this appealing on an IMAX screen instead of developing the characters and making us care about it.
Rusty says I look like Maximus.
Yeah.
I do. We've already pointed this out watching.
Yes. Rusty, we have some like kind of lookalikes on the cast and crew.
We got a lot of lookalikes.
Hashtag, if you've ever seen Josh, we call him Cypher from The Matrix.
And then Joe looks like Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele. I think it was Daniel who said Joe's cosplaying as Jordan Peele, and I almost died.
If he did though, I would be. That'd be legit.
So my point is, I just think that they just screwed the pooch with partnering up with IMAX, because it's an ABC television show. You can see the budgetary restrictions all over the place. So I'm very curious to see how episode 3 is going to fare.
I think there's a good reason why they brought it like from the 4th to the 3rd or the 2nd or wherever we're at in the phase at the moment.
3rd.
We're in 3rd?
Yeah.
So we're in phase 3 now. For what Marvel says. And the thing is, we're dealing with a point where Marvel is completely a saturated genre upon itself. Like, if you go and jump on the internets, I'll wait. But if you if you jump on the internets, you're gonna see all these like Marvel shows from like, I think, let's say 2013 when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came out to now, and there's just so much content, and I'm guilty of this specifically, where it's like, I know that there's so much, and there's only so much hours in the day I can watch these things. Mm-hmm. And so they need to start pulling from the more offshoots to make it seem fresh. In other words, I think they're a victim of their own phases. The thing is, they have these phases that work, but now it's going so fast and people are getting so saturated on it. It's like, okay, we need to come up with new ideas. Let's start merging these phases together to keep it going.
But I don't think that really has any bearing on what they're doing in the television series. Because I need to catch up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I'm not really up to date with it. I'm not sure. I know in the beginning, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was trying to be connected to the MCU as much as, Daredevil and Jessica Jones were doing in the first couple episodes, where they make references to the event that happened. But for the most part, I believe they kind of just treat each other as separate entities, as separate universes.
But even if they treat them as separate universe, like I said, Marvel is still it's a virtual genre onto itself. It's like, here's superhero movies, and then here's Marvel superhero movies. Like, it's just by itself, and which Marvel's done a really good idea of cornering the market. Like, you don't see anything else beyond DC or Marvel anymore. There's no new superheroes. There's nothing. No one's saying, hey, I got a superhero movie that isn't either of these, because they're not known. There's no IP behind them, and you're never going to see it. Not in this era anyway. Give it 30 years, maybe we'll get some Dark Horse or something. But
yeah, Leron makes a comment. So we went to see Medusa with no long hair, which I was pretty baffled that they went there, and spoiler alert, they shaved her head off at the end of the first episode. And I'm like, isn't this what this character is about? Her hair? I mean, her hair has been a focal point of this whole entire marketing campaign.
It was the most dramatic haircut in the history of filmmaking.
Really? Because I guess you haven't seen America's Next Top Model.
I mean, the slow motion, you see the hair falling around the face, and you just... Like, it's so dramatic.
Well, it's almost like, when you know, in the story, Samson and Delilah, and Samson's hair got cut off. He lost his strength and everything like that.
Sure, and the thing is, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be dramatic, but it was dramatic to the point where it was campy, and I love good campy. I mean, I'll watch Army of Darkness any day of the week. The thing is, this show is currently just so dramatic. It's just everything's happening so fast, and that's another problem we'll get into. But it's just everything's happening so fast, and it's just so dramatic. And I'm like, dude, like. I mean, there's a certain amount of dramatic I want, but it's too much for what they're like.
I mean, it's ABC. Blackwing says, I don't know why they shaved her head. I have kind of 2 theories on this. 1, it makes her too powerful. No, maybe 3. 2, it's too expensive to keep up. Because already in the comics, Medusa's hair moves around. It's kind of its own thing. Like Doctor Strange's cape. But now it's flat in the TV show because obviously they cannot keep up with that. And then number 1, it makes her a little bit more invincible. Number 2, budgetary restraints. I think those were the only 2 reasons I had.
Well, I mean, the thing is, she looks somewhat powerful, and she's almost annoyingly arrogant. And the thing is, I understand that that's probably a good actor choice for her, but at the same time, it's like it creates a 2-dimensional aspect. I only know her as one thing. Angry. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I know her about. Like, I don't know the background of her. I don't know anything. I know that she has cool hair that can do stuff. I mean, that is a cool power to have, I think. I don't think it makes her incredibly powerful. Like, because if she's going to come at me, I got to stand 5 feet back. She's powerless. What is she going to do? Yeah. Nothing. And so it's like, it's such a... I feel like they robbed us of a good character, and the acting for her specifically could have been much better. And maybe that was a directional point from what's his name? Some
weird thing you were trying to pronounce.
No, not that.
Ray something.
No, the director himself. Roll Ryan is the guy who directed the first 2 episodes, and that might be on him. And for those who don't know who that is, because I didn't know who, I had to look it up real quick. He's the guy. He did Scorpion King 3, Death Race 2, and at some point, and there's nothing really beyond that. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, who was the guy who's like, you've done some mediocre things. How about you take this entire new IP and do something with it?
I don't know. The guy who runs the TV division, he's the Kevin Feige of TV. He really wanted to push the Inhumans.
Was that Scott Buck? Or?
No, it's Ike something with an I. But I think he was Kevin Feige's boss, or is Kevin Feige's boss.
Blackwing says, what do you think of Black Bolt?
No, I'm going to get to... Yeah, that was my next thing. I like Black Bolt. I think he's also another actor there who is doing more than the others. He's really good with his facial expressions because... If you don't know, and once again, spoiler alert, you're watching the after show, he can't use his voice because in one scene, he just lets out a breath of air and his cop car goes flipping around like 500 feet.
Beyond that, his parents ended up as a splat on the wall. Like a little... Like there wasn't even...
Rorschach painting.
No bodies, no skin, no blood, just a splat of ash on the wall. I'm like, holy crap, that is a powerful power. Even a little eep out of him, like, the cop car. And we were actually kind of like, what if he just whispered?
That was you. That wasn't me. I told you, that was basically a whisper. He was just like letting out a breath of...
He said, ugh. Like, that's a guttural thing. Like, if he just... Like, that has to be like the equivalent to a punch in the face. So, breath fair.
But yeah, when I first watched this, like, I don't know much about the Inhumans, so I thought he was just deaf or something because they were doing sign language, which I don't think is sign language. I think they created something for the show.
The one thing I like about Black Bolt is I know he does the sign language, and he's got a good presence.
Yeah,
I think that he's got
the regal presence there.
He's got the look and the feel of a king, and like almost like a silent warrior scholar type of feel to him. And I think that his presence is important to the series, especially because he's now he's the third party. I wouldn't call him rebel just yet, but I mean you have 3 powers now. You have Ramsay Bolton doing his thing. You got Black Bolt doing his thing, and then you have the Humans. So you have kind of a 3-way power struggle that's about to happen in this show.
Yeah. I think, this show, I'm not going to say it unfairly got the backlash it did, because, listen, it deserves some backlash. Like, the CGI is terrible. and I don't even want to say the acting is terrible, but it's probably a lot of the director that was terrible. Everything seemed rushed. Everything was played for IMAX purposes. Some people's powers don't really make sense in the context of those 2 episodes. If you're going to come in and say, hey, this person's power is this and that and the other thing, you got that from the comics. We don't know how much of the comics is going to play into the TV show. We need to learn about these characters, what their powers are and their limitations are in these 2 episodes because it's the introduction. So like, what's Ken Lewin's character? Karnak. So in one instance, he's in this fight scene, right, with Gorgon, and he gets killed. So it kind of stops and it rewinds, and he's like, okay, so that didn't work, so let me try something else.
He's actually one of my favorite people in the series right now. He's so cool.
He's decent. He's got potential there. That was probably one of the better CGI works of that scene. But then when he goes to Hawaii and slips and falls on that rock, like, how come that thing stopped there and rewound? And that took him out of that.
Oh, speaking of Hawaii, wow. Like, you couldn't find any other place in the world to put your people. I mean, and this is story problem more than production problem. It's like, hey,
I'm gonna call it IMAX.
No, we're gonna leave. They said we're gonna leave the moon, like, for one of the most densely populated areas in the entire world, even though people shouldn't know that we exist.
Wait,
what?
You call that Hawaii? I call that New York.
Well, no. The thing is, if you actually look at Oahu, the population and how they have to deal with it, it's actually a very densely populated area compared to the size. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, they said let's go to one of the most densely populated places in the world to stay hidden. What? Yeah. Come on, man. Go to Bhutan. Go to Madagascar. Go somewhere else.
Madagascar.
That's such a dumb place to go. It's such a cheap place to do, and I'm annoyed.
Serenity's over here like telling it like it is.
Yeah, Serenity says the actors were solid except for Crystal. I don't know. I think Lockjaw is probably the best actor in the whole thing.
What? No, stop.
Doggo. But
Crystal, the Pokemon trainer. I don't know if she's a Pokemon trainer. She's cosplaying as Pikachu.
Crystal Chew.
Very distracting.
Hashtag Crystal Chew.
Very distracting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think she's out of her age. And what I mean by that is the actual actor she was playing, I feel like so much younger than she actually looks.
Okay.
And maybe that's my perspective. I could be wrong, but it feels like a 16-year-old girl, like she's acting like a 16-year-old girl in like this like mid-20s body, you know? Mm-hmm. And I don't know, that it's just kind of maybe miscast. I think it's a miscast.
Yeah, I mean, her character is, I don't even say 2-dimensional, I say 1-dimensional. Is this character supposed to control the elements? Like, and she's doing nothing, and she's trapped in her apartment and stupidly uses a communicator.
And that's actually a big problem with the story, too, is, like, we don't know. The only character we actually know is the main bad guy at this point, which is Ramsey
Bolton.
Ramsey Bolton. And the thing is, like, when he was sitting there, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, he's sitting there in this big domey thing doing his meditation thing, and he's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about these characters. And there's nothing that makes me want to care about them. I care more about Ramsey Bolton's vision because it makes more sense than we should just hang out here. Like, we're just going to hang out here with our finite resources and they even said it, our strict caste system is based on our sole resource. You know, like he's doing it out of a moment of desperation for his people. I mean, granted, there is the whole murderous we're better than humans thing, even though he is human, very Adolf Hitler kind of feel to it. But still.
Whoa.
But no, I'm saying, look, and the thing is, I'm breaking down the subtext here where it's like he actually has a motivated reason to go to Earth that isn't, I just want to kill people. It's, we're going to die up here eventually. Population's a problem. We need to move back down. Like, and the king's sitting here like, oh, well, you know, we're just going to stay here for now. Trust your king without any explanation. Dude, fuck that king. I'm on Team Ramsey right now. I am.
He has that reaction, and then like Ramsey Bolton just jumps onto the most extreme reaction he could have. Like, that doesn't make any sense either. I think also the problem with these 2 episodes is they should have been pushed later into the season. If that would have happened episode 5 and 6, something like that, that makes more sense. Build up the relationship between the brothers. I have no idea what their relationship is like, except for the maybe 2 or 3 scenes they had in the first episode.
Well,
and he's creeping on his wife. Like, how cliche is that?
It's actually not like the way I think the that creeping on the wife thing is cliche, but the way he did it, I don't think was. He was very forefront about it. Like, he wasn't trying to beat around the bush. He's like, you and I should be a thing. She's like, nah, fuck off, dude. Like, I mean, it's a little refreshing to see someone who's more forward. I do like, he's a very forceful, forward bad guy. That's kind of cool. But like, and I do agree that there's no background to this show, and that I think that's the biggest problem it's going to have. Like, for example, you came into this scene. It was visually interesting. Like, you had these like coming from the trees and the close-ups of the gunfire. Like, these are kind of cool. But then, like 20 seconds in, we're Inhumans. We have a place. What? Great, cool. There's no like, and then she dies. He dies. The end. And I understand that they're trying to show this as the catalyst, but we don't know what happens beforehand. We don't know these characters. We don't know. Like, I didn't even know this thing was going to be on the goddamn moon, for example. Like, what? Okay, I mean, I'll bite onto it, but like, there's no like you said, these episodes should have been way in the middle, where the catalyst of these two people dying. Once we get to know who the hell they are.
Yeah,
like,
people are tired of Marvel origin stories at this point, especially almost 10 years later of doing this. But it's not like it's Spider-Man. It's not like it's Batman. Let's have a little bit of lore in the beginning, even if they did it in a cool comic book way.
I want to see what everyone else is saying about it. So Vigo, the Scourge of Carpanthea, says, Maximus, despite being a creepy fucker, does actually have better motivation for a lot of other Marvel villains.
Well, better than the Civil War guy. What's his name? Zen something. Zemo. Better than the Vulture?
Well, his people are literally, like I said, again, resources, death. They have to expand. And so I do understand. He does have a good motivation. Whether it's better than someone else's, that's a relative thing. Serenity says, I don't like the way he's betraying his family, but I can't hate Maximus for what he's doing. Good reason for the revolution. So, yeah. I mean, it almost sounds like the Star Wars problem. Like, is the Senate inherently evil versus versus Vader himself being evil?
Yeah, no one thinks they're the bad guy.
No one thinks that they're a bad guy, and that's kind of like in real life too. No one ever thinks that they're the bad guy. Ryan's bouncing out on us, saying he's gonna go watch Law and Order: True Crime. That's cool. Tell me if it's better than this show.
Oh goodness.
And then Serenity says the minority, so I feel those who have zero info on these characters are going in. Yeah, it's kind of an issue. And she also thinks it's like the budget. You know, if they had better budget, it seems pretty budgeted. These 2 episodes were very expensive, especially with marketing and them going IMAX on it. Like,
and they're not going to get any more money, especially at this point. Like, they kind of went there.
They're already thinking canceling the series before the first episode even. No.
I mean, they could be thinking about it, whether it's going to happen.
I don't want to say that it is or not. It is speculated.
Yeah.
Anyway, but. And there's so much more to really pick apart in the show, like that death scene.
I think it has the potential to move to Netflix, to be honest. Ugh. There are a lot of network shows who have not done well on television, but they sold the rights over to Netflix or Hulu.
Well, that would be an interesting idea for the Marvel Universe. Like, let's say they have a less successful show, like whether it's Iron Fist, which is debatable.
Change the showrunner.
Or change the showrunner.
This showrunner, Scott Buck, has a history of tanking anything he touches.
Well, he did Dexter. He did.
Wait, no, he didn't do Dexter. He did Dexter season 5 to 8 or 6 to 8.
He also did,
which were the most terrible seasons.
He did 6 Feet Under as well.
But he did the whole thing?
I don't know if he did.
Because 6 Feet Under was pretty good, so I don't know.
Scott Buck.
He did Iron Fist, and
he did Iron Fist.
Now he has his hands on this.
He did 19 episodes of 6 Feet Under,
and he was only the supervising producer.
And he did The Oblongs, which was a weird show. That's we're not going to go into that one. But with those being said, I mean, he doesn't have a great track record, obviously. Why he got the Inhumans, not entirely sure. And it is like these systemic, positions that make or break a series. But let's say they wanted to keep him. What would be a really interesting idea in theory, instead of killing the show, because there's always going to be somebody who wants to watch these awful shows, give them to less successful networks. Mm-hmm. Like, who's one that you might like? USA. I don't really watch USA all that much.
Is that still in existence?
I
guess they do Suits, right?
Yeah, USA is still a thing. They give them to give these less successful shows to different networks to see if they can maybe do something better out of it. Mm-hmm. Because the IP is still good, and that's an argument that a lot of people is going to have. You could look at Fantastic Four, which can't make a good movie to save its life. Spider-Man, which has to have a reboot every 2 years or something. Like, the IP is good. The people behind it, or maybe the network behind it, not that great. So pass it off to someone who might have a better take.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Obviously, even if I wasn't doing this show, I would at least give it episode 3. I think the IMAX thing really had a heavy hand in this, and he kind of panicked because things weren't coming together in time. And everyone that wants to give the show a chance, they feel like the show should be redone.
Like a reboot of a series?
Pretty much. They're like, redo it. Just stop right here.
And the thing is, that's not the first time it's ever happened. Like, a lot of people say that with Star Trek, for example, Next Generation.
Take a break.
What?
No, I'm saying have them take a break, come back in the wintertime with a new...
No, what they did was, a lot of people say that it really didn't start the series until Tasha Yar died. Mm-hmm. If there's any actual Star Trek wonks out there. But it's not uncommon for a bad first season to come back. Yeah. It does happen. Rarely, but it does happen. And if they decide to take another chance and go against the cancellation bear, it could get better. And I don't want to write off anything. I will say on the first impression, gah!
I know, yeah. Serenity says, let me scroll up a little bit. That's what I'm saying. Acts the whole Earth subplot in the first 4 episodes sets up the history of the Inhumans and the core characters and go into coup, which is what I said. I totally agree. And I had a point, but I have a head cold and it fell off my head.
Icy. So
damn, what was I going to say? It was a really good point. And because honestly, they went from 0 to 60. I don't care about anybody. I'm going to say that right now. I don't care about anyone. I don't care about their problems. And that's because I can't relate to anyone. Despite the fact that they're Inhumans, who cares if they have powers? Guess what? Buffy the Vampire Slayer related to 3 or 4 characters, and they were demons and vampires and slayers. Okay? I'm neither one of those. We need more backstory on these characters. We need to know the lore of the television series. We need to know where they are going. Are they really going to base this hardcore on the comics? Walking Dead, you kind of got that within the first 2 or 3 episodes, what they were doing. Yeah, they were following the comic. Okay, I wasn't confused about that. Good character development. They weren't so much, focused on the spectacle of everything.
Well, and the spectacle is one thing. I think there was just so many weird moments.
Even Lockjaw. Lockjaw made 2 or 3 appearances, and he had some weird smudgy teleportation effect.
I kind of like that, though.
And then they put him to sleep. That's it. Once again, it looks like something that,
Wait, did they kill him or just put him to sleep?
No, they put him to sleep.
Okay.
And they locked him up somewhere. I don't know how they did that. But these people are too super powered and how are we going to solve this problem? Which, of course, a lot of the superheroes have. A lot of them are too powerful for things like Doctor Strange or, someone of that caliber. So they always have to think, how can we solve this problem? And I think they were just really lazy about doing it.
The thing is, they made a trade-off is what they did. They said, we're not going to give background on this, but with that background, we have to ham-fist something. Mm-hmm. And they really just They just hand-fisted the crap out of it. Like, that very beginning, we're the Inhumans, we got a place to go, come on. It's like, well, there goes, like, 3 episodes you could have explained that with.
And they shot the character.
And
after the expositional scene.
And you don't know, and you didn't know who they were, so are they main characters, are they supporting? No, they're dead. And then, like, furthermore, you got all the beach bum scenes. What? Like, okay, you had Gorgon go to this beach, meet up with these beach bums, and he's there for, like, both episodes, I think.
No, it was just a second.
Just a second. And you're like, so you're the Inhumans, right? It's like, first off, how did you know? Like, how did you, a beach bum, know about A, their name, B, what they are? Like, they kind of, like, explained everything there on this beach with friendly beach bums. And I'm like, what?
And they're, like, willing to die for this guy. We're like, all right, peace. You just called for your enemy to come down and get you. Bye.
He's like, I'm gonna keep my comm link open just so you can find me. And what? Like
arms,
yeah. Like I mean,
arms.
the thing is, I like Gorgon as a character objectively. Mm-hmm. The actor, I don't know, man. Like I know he's good. Like I can tell he's a good actor. But what the direction he's going in, it's campy. It's a campy notion, and it's like it's almost like he's trying to be like, again, Idris Elba, like trying to be this badass. Go ahead, I'll keep my comms on. I'll wait. You know, like, and it's a good bitch. It is a good bitch calling move objectively. I think it could have been handled better.
I don't know. And then they go apeshit over finding this guy named Triton. His name's Triton.
Triton!
And you're like so panicky that he fell into the ocean, and this Gorgon dude tries to swim over there. Dude, you know you can't swim, so stop it. His name is Triton. He'll be okay. I promise.
So, Daniel Jerome says, Lockjaw thing's stupid. I mean, it's clearly a ploy to sell a toy, just a bunch of plushies. So, it's funny that you mentioned that. We kind of had a question about the dog halfway through, where it's like, is he an Inhuman, but is he a human? Like, he's not a human. Like where did he come from? Did someone like take their pet to the moon and said put it in the chamber and see what it does, and then Lockjaw came out? I don't know. Like maybe I think we're just getting hung up on words there, but.
So why is his name Lockjaw?
I don't know. That's an origin story thing right there, which we still didn't get. Thanks, guys.
Oh man. So once again, we want to draw your attention to Super Chat. Please use that Super Chat feature right there with the little box and the little dollar sign there to help support the show here and have your comment highlighted. And so share this video out so we can get into a nice discussion about the Inhumans. We want to know what you think about the show. Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? Are you going in for episode 3? Or are you going in for episode 1? And
honestly, knowing that IMAX kind of, I don't know, screwed the pooch on this, I feel like we might have to be forced to watch episode 3 to see if it's any different.
No, I mean, I want to see if it's any different, you know. Listen, when Breaking Bad came out, when Game of Thrones came out, it took me 4 times to get through the first episode of Game of Thrones. I wasn't about it. I was bored. I shut it off so many times. Same thing with Breaking Bad. I fell off in episode 2, and then I gave it a chance like later. So I think it does have, the first season of shows are notorious for sucking. But then they become greater shows in the future.
Well, yeah, no one expects the pilot
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No one expects the pilot of any show in the history of ever to sell anyone on any series ever. Well,
no, not necessarily. It should sell you on it, whether it's going to be like an out of this world experience.
Let me ask you a question. What episode 1 of anything like immediately just drew you and said, "Fuck yeah, I'm going to watch that"?
I'll think about it as we continue
this
conversation.
Because you ain't got one, because it doesn't exist.
It does exist. I have to just think about. I don't want to sit here while people watch me think about all the shows I've watched in time.
The thing is, I will say the first 3 episodes will do that. The thing is, because you get your first story arc, you get your first conflict, you get your first character development in the first 3 episodes. That does happen. Whether it's BoJack Horseman, whether it's Game of Thrones, whether it's Breaking Bad, whether it's hell, you could even
Fresh off the boat.
Fresh off the boat.
No, that's the pilot episode I really liked, and it hooked me on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was hilarious. Master of None. I guess those are comedies.
And into the live chat out there, tell us, like, do you have a episode 1 that hooked you, like, right away? I'd love to know, because I don't think that it's really possible. I don't think that there's an episode 1 where I was, like, immediately attached to a show.
Vigo says, I tried finding an origin for Lockjaw, but everything just says he's an Inhuman dog. No other explanation.
Exactly. Like, there really isn't much of an origin story behind Lockjaw.
I just think this was, I want to see where it goes, but this was not the property to move to television. I don't know what happened with Kevin Feige and the TV leader of Marvel, which I have to look up his name because I just heard it earlier, Ike, I think. But this wasn't it. And to put it on ABC of all things, it's not, because I don't know much about the Inhumans comics, but I don't know how heavy it is on character development, like something that Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage would be. And that's why they do great on television, because they're more based on, kind of like real life issues or something of the smaller scale.
Well, what I want to know is, who actually wrote the first 2 episodes. And I'm trying to find that right now. Just because I want to ignore the rest of whatever they write.
Yeah, the writing, some of the lines, like,
Princessy.
you're a little bratty and such blonde and princessy.
Princessy. It's so
I'm
princessy,
sorry.
guys.
Writers on network television don't write that and they're serious about the line either. It's just, it's so bad.
Well, like, and again, there's some weird moments in there, like there's a cutaway again with Gorgon where it was like 2 sentences and then it cuts somewhere else. Like, that's just
it was
that's
like,
bad editing.
are you ready to fight? And it was just like, the scene didn't have any time to breathe. I don't know what the scene, what was he getting geared up for? What? Motivating him to find his family? I don't know. Is he not already motivated to do that?
Guess who wrote it? Guess who wrote it?
Brett Ratner.
Scott Buck. Scott Buck wrote it. The guy who ruined your Dexter, your 6 Feet Under, and everything else. So
I didn't say 6 Feet Under was ruined yet. I'm on the last season.
And then another weird thing, why does he need a change? Why does he need to change into his suit?
Wait, who?
The Black Bolt.
I think he was just curious and that lady pulled him in. I think he was just wandering about.
But don't you have anything more important things to do than worry about someone grabbing you for a suit?
He wasn't worried about it. He was just being tugged along.
There was literally a coup of your homeland on the Moon People thing.
You mean because he's not acting like his crazy wife?
Well, no, he's sitting there well, I guess I'm here. Huh. So this is Earth. That's a feeling I was getting from him. I know he wasn't speaking, but that's the look. And
that is
nice
a little
duds.
hammy.
I'm not paying for this shit. Come on.
I mean, he doesn't know about the currency and exchange and everything like that. But you have a point. Look at the difference between the hamminess of the Inhumans going to Earth, or I guess I should say Black Bolt, because I guess they're acting relatively cool because they're in the Hawaii jungle, whatever. And then Wonder Woman, Diana, going to Earth. She had more an innocence to her. It kind of felt natural, but when you see Medusa and Black Bolt walking around, it's dramatic head body turns and
here's the thing,
it doesn't feel natural.
The reason being, they came from Earth. They had to jump ship and go to the moon.
Right, so they were in Earth before.
They've been to Earth. Well, they haven't been to Earth before, but I mean, their ancestors have. There has to be history, something that shows Earth in its customs from when they were there. It bugs me that they're I've never been here before.
Well, I can buy that they don't know what cars are and cell phones and all that, because way back when it would have been dirt roads and all that.
Well, my question is how
and it's probably loud.
Well, they have people that go down to the Earth. This Triton guy went down to Earth. He, people that do search parties or whatever, they don't come back and go, so this is what Earth looks like now. Here's a car. Here's a cell phone that I took a picture with this car. There's people who go down there. The continuity on how people wouldn't just know, it bugs me.
He's speechless. What's going on in the chat here?
I don't know.
Okay, this is too much. I can't read.
We're starting a good conversation. Here's what's going on. Anna Miles says Orville's cool. I don't know why that came up.
Another thing I hated was the cliche cat fight that happened between Medusa and that woman.
No, that was
her up.
So I busted out laughing. Like it was. So here we have these two women fighting it out. Chick with no hair versus chick who apparently can resurrect. Cool, whatever. And like she straight takes out a knife that we didn't even know established was there. Just has it, which I don't know why she didn't use it before. You know. But anyway.
Didn't she steal that from someone on the bus? She saw that from someone on the bus. She
saw on the bus? Okay, I didn't remember that part. But she has this knife and like prison shanks the crap out of her. Just ching, 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 ching. I'm like, holy shit. Like, all right, we got the prison shanker over here. But the way she dies, and I don't want to be too nitpicky, but it's just, she just, and then like perfectly on this plastic, like a Wes Anderson film of a death or something. I'm just like, what?
She literally died on the table laughing.
It was so campy, and it was like that, but it was like it was a good campy. It was bad acting.
Half the people think they're in a stage play, and the other half are just like, I'm gonna kill my agent.
It is no, like it's the thing is, that's the kind of campy that makes me laugh. I was like, this is so fucking funny. If I didn't know this was serious, this would be the best comedy ever. But it takes itself too seriously, and it's not the case being.
It is. If it had some more of that Marvel fun lightness, I don't even know. I just say those two episodes were misplaced, and it was gimmicky because it was supposed to be made for IMAX, and they needed to make it worthwhile for IMAX. So nothing really made sense because there were so many wide shots, establishing shots, some car flipping over. I don't even think anything was IMAX worthy in the two episodes.
Well, here's the thing. I will some positives. I'll give one or two because I need to. I do like there are certain aspects that I like that the way it's shot. I think there's some really cool things the way that it's shot. Like they have that weird courtyard that has like a stone here and a square here and like a division here that kind of looks like a yin yang. Like okay, I like some of the artistic direction, mise en scène. If we're gonna be all technical about it. Can we talk about that wall guy for a moment?
You mean
now that we're talking about
Olmec from Legends of the Hidden Temple?
From Legend of the Hidden Temple.
His offspring.
That was the creepiest fucking thing I have seen in a while. And the thing is, it wasn't like it was like a gross like special effects. Like you see, like it was almost stop motion. I'm like, oh my,
stop motion.
Yeah, no, it's. And then like she went inside of him. I just.
She went inside of him.
She went inside of him. She did. There. Like, I don't want to say it's cringy, but there's a certain cringe factor in it. I just.
Hey, Carlos Martinez. Okay, here it is, guys. Watch Inhumans.
What? No. That's no.
No, watch Inhumans.
Hey, wait. I'll tell you what. Let's compromise. You don't have to watch the first 2 episodes. Start it at the 3rd. See if it's good at the 3rd, because based on the first 2 episodes, there's no background. Murderous guy wants to go to Earth to save his people. You now know what happens in the first 2 episodes.
It can be summarized in a paragraph. Sam just told you what happened in 120 minutes.
Yeah, like the first 2 episodes are a waste of life. I don't want to be too mean. If you're a Marvel nut, okay, if you're an absolute diehard Marvel fan and this is something you absolutely have to watch, even if it's bad, start the 3rd episode. Start the 3rd episode because I feel like that would give it.
Listen, I give things a chance. I like things that people find polarizing. I love Iron Man 3. I'll watch Batman and Robin 3 times a week.
What's wrong with Iron Man 3?
People don't like Iron Man 3. Like, a lot of people do not.
Dude, the shells coming up and...
I know, that was
cool!
That was so cool! Yes! It's like a suit here, suit there, 3 suits there.
It was good. I think the only issue that Pepper Potts isn't supposed to have powers. I think that was the only...
Well, no, she's, what's this thing name? Shadowheart, or I don't know. She's the machine thing. That's it. That's part of the comics. But, yeah, I just... But my point is, like, I'm not... try to be a hater for the sake of being a hater.
So Serenity says, I know Migdalia never read the comics, but what about the other guy, Eldrick, the door dude? So
he's a door that his Oh, is that the wall guy?
Yeah, that's the wall guy. That's his Terrigen. That's what he turned into. Like, so it's a
what
regular
was-
dude
what was
who
with
turned
that
into a
threat,
wall.
Serenity, do you think that was just like a stupid throwaway line because to make her seem threatening, or can something actually happen to him?
Well, no. The thing is, it sounds like he's a trans-dimensional doorway. So, like, he warped her to Earth, which
So what's the threat? She can get him permanently closed?
I don't know. But no, here's the thing: is that how they all get down to Earth? Because it seemed like they just kind of teleported back and forth.
Or Lockjaw? Well, they teleported through Lockjaw.
So without Lockjaw, like who's the first to talk to? Like, do you talk to Lockjaw first, or you talk to the door guy?
I don't think
Like-
you talk to the dog first.
Do you talk to the dog, or you talk to the door guy? I need to know.
The dog belongs to the royal family, or I guess specifically Crystal. And like I guess the other people, the workers or the militants and everything, they use that doorway. Right?
I don't.
Serenity, you read it? The Blackwing?
I don't know. Like,
Someone confirm?
like how is the main way to get down to Earth? Because like I'm thinking like spaceship maybe, or
Through the fireplace.
the fire. Through the wall guy door thing.
Diagonally.
Diagonally? Okay.
Sorry, I'm having a Harry Potter moment.
No, it's totally fine. But I'm just there's
Blackwing says the Mariner was the worst part.
The
That
thing
was
is,
Iron Man 3?
this show has so many inconsistencies and so much. What's the word when they?
It was chop suey.
Yeah, there we go. It was chop suey. They didn't know what they wanted to be. It feels like, and they just said instead of like dividing between two things, we want all things. And
The show has potential, but now they got themselves into a pickle. Medusa has no hair. What are they going to do with Lockjaw? Does Crystal have powers? Are they not developed yet? Because she's supposed to control the elements,
so,
right? No, she used her powers in one instance, so I don't know if she's got some kind of spontaneous combustion thing. I don't know what element that's supposed to touch base on.
So Serenity says he's a door with the power of teleportation. Orin didn't threaten him. He threatened to kill his family if he didn't do what she said. Dude, I could have killed him. All he could do is take a jackhammer.
The wall had a family. I'm sorry. I didn't get that.
Little hedges. They got little head. He's got little hedgelings. You know.
What?
Like,
Stop.
build the wall over time.
Let's not say build the wall.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, like, do you think that okay? I have a question, and maybe some of you Inhumans fans maybe know. Are the powers that they get, are they hereditary? Like, do they all have like the same line of family powers, or is it like random? Like, that's what
It looked like it was random, right? They had some kind of like the Giver ceremony in the first episode. If you guys haven't read the Giver, that was like, I think if you went to school, I think you read that, where it was just like, let's see if you have powers. Oh, you don't have powers.
So this gas stuff is like the sorting hat, basically.
Yeah.
Since how we're going Harry Potter moments here and there.
Yeah, it's almost like the sorting hat, almost like the Giver thing. Do you have feelings or do you not have feelings?
And like, how shitty is this society to go by strict casts? If you have powers, great.
Damn.
If not, you go to the mines.
Look what you did to Leron.
To be honest, I'm done with this show.
Like this show or like the Inhuman show?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, I'm just trying to. I'm reporting as far as I'm concerned. It's not my fault. Like, I hurt feelings. Only my own.
So
Sometimes.
Serenity, is the power that Crystal showed on the show actually in the comics, or is it some new thing they drummed up? Because I don't know what element that would have been.
The element of surprise.
Wow. I mean, yeah. Okay. Again, this show has potential. They should change the showrunner. They need to change the director. Obviously, the writer was the showrunner, so I think if you're the showrunner, you have to write the pilot episode to get continuing credit. So who knows if he's going to even be involved going forward? I would assume so. They're getting a new showrunner for Iron Fist season 2. So
well, right now, currently the chat's saying that they're comparing it right now to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like the first season blew, apparently, but apparently it got better. And that, honestly, it's going to depend if they want to take the risk. And the thing is, Marvel's not really all about taking risk yet. I mean, they got a couple. They got a couple. Like Guardians of the Galaxy was a risk. Even the Inhumans in itself was a risk.
I would say rebooting Spider-Man 3 times is a risk.
Well, that's not Marvel though. That's
Sony.
Yeah, it's Sony. Sony said we're never giving this shit up. They said you can pry it from our cold, dead, hilarious fingers. And well, I mean, come on, they're laughing.
hilarious
Sony's a laughing
fingers.
stock right now. But the thing is, like if they want to continue, because I think like I said, Inhuman IP is great. I like the powers. I like the idea of moon people coming down to take back what's theirs. But is Marvel willing to try to save their own stuff? And the thing is,
I don't think they care. I think they're just like, here you go, Scott. Here you go, director of Marvel TV. Go do your thing.
The thing is, Marvel likes to take risks in the people that they vet. So like the Scott, what was it, Scott Buck. Scott Buck, he doesn't have the greatest track record, but they took a risk. And the thing is, objectively, I like the idea of taking risks on new people. I mean, he's not new, but like...
There's a difference between new and established. This guy is technically established, and he like you said, he doesn't have a good track record.
Right. And the thing is, Marvel, their whole thing is as long as you stick to the format, we'll kind of let you do whatever you want. And I think they had a thing where somebody wasn't sticking to their format and they fired that guy.
You mean Edgar Wright and like 5 other directors of different things?
Well, I mean, he came back for Ant-Man.
Huh?
Are you talking about Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Ant-Man was great.
No, wait. Who was the original person?
Edgar Wright.
Was it?
For which one?
Yeah, I was talking about Ant-Man. I thought somebody
Ant-Man was
like,
a smash success, though.
Edgar Wright was the original. Then
Was the original.
Peyton Reed.
Peyton. Okay, yeah. He didn't turn out to direct it in the end. That's like what I'm saying.
Right. But and that's the thing. Like, if you don't stick to format, and that's not just Marvel. That's obviously Star Wars, as many people have seen over the last couple.
WB.
Like, format is much more important than a good story, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing just yet. I mean, the Marvel format is to have the action with a healthy dose of comedy. That's for all ages.
Leron, let's not talk about crossovers before the where we're at. It's not.
Well, I mean,
even
didn't Jessica Jones cross over? Isn't she in the Defenders?
Yeah, but that was a quality show. Daredevil and Jessica Jones were quality shows, and Daredevil was already past season 2.
So they want to. So he's asking about a crossover with the Inhumans and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
No,
How about a crossover
I don't think that would be.
It needs to stand on its own first.
Well, I don't think the universes need to cross. Like how?
But I mean, it would make sense for them to get involved at this point, which is the problem. These 2 episodes are misplaced. It's too early.
But even if that's the case, like you have to establish who's the good guy and bad guy. And the thing is, you already have so many factions in the Inhumans. Like then you have to bring Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. into this. Are they playing for the humans? Are they playing for themselves? Like, and what are their internal conflicts? Like you come with this. It's so much that it wouldn't make for a good series. There'd be too much going on.
Well, I think that'll about do it for the first episode here of Marvel Phase 1. I don't know. Give it a chance. I'm not gonna say don't watch it. Sam will tell you not to watch it, but you'll probably appreciate it more if you start from the beginning. If it gets better.
Honestly, right? Like my personal and brutal opinion, and y'all can fight me on it. I would rather watch pre-Marvel Universe Marvel movies than the Inhumans 3rd episode, and that's just my personal opinion. No one else's. I can't speak for everybody, but it was just, it wasn't even clever. There's nothing like, I don't know. I'm off on it. I can't do it. Sorry.
Well, he can't do it, and he might be back next week. I'll definitely be back next week after episode 3, and we'll see what happens. And maybe we'll have some more news on whether it's sticking around on ABC or not.
And hey, if you guys want to continue talking about Beyond the Show, go to the hashtaggers page on Facebook, start a conversation, and we'll jump in on it.
Let's have a debate. I want you
debate
guys
the crap out of it.
Again, Facebook, THS hashtaggers group. Let's get that ball rolling and jumping.
Mm-hmm. Check out Teespring too, because we gotta throw that in there. TeePublic.
Yes.
TeePublic.
Check out TeePublic for all sorts of fun, geeky shirts for your pleasure.
I'm wearing them all the time. Not now. This is a frat shirt. Someone asked me about it. This is ADG. Whatever.
ADG, frat boys. Yes. Sorry. The show airs on Thursdays, right?
Which one?
The Inhumans?
I think it's Fridays.
Fridays. Okay, sorry, I saw this like a couple weeks ago somewhere.
Where can we find you?
Where can we find me? I'll be on After Dark tonight. Come back around 6, but we never start on time, so track what time we're gonna start. It should be 6 o'clock tonight. And again, thanks to all that been tuning in to my horror show. That's Tuesday nights after Achievement Unlocked.
You can find me at Slammy Sammy Lock on my Instagram, on my Twitter. You can find me at Steam Bunny Productions on the Facebooks, where I do comedy sometimes. You can find me at Facebook, again, also at Sammy Lock if you really want to hang out. You can find me on Achievement Unlocked Tuesdays, although we've been kind of doing that a little differently lately. I should be on this show hopefully next week. We'll see.
Hopefully, I believe we're doing a horror game episode, so that should be fun.
And then, Sunday we're doing a thingy, which will come up sooner than later. And then, I don't know if I can say anything about PCR stuff, so I'm not going to say that. But other than that,
you can tell them to tune in.
Yeah, you tune into PCR. I'm doing stuff there sometimes, like rarely.
Pop Culture Renegades channel.
And then Wednesdays, if I'm not working, I'm doing Twitch stuff.
Okay. It's twitching.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Please like and subscribe to this channel to keep up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Stay inhuman.